Hi, welcome to Wongamania Banana Economy's instruction video. Today, I would like to share with you some of the basic components of the game and how you play it. In every box, you should receive an economic cycle board, market board, productivity die, economic token, and a deck of cards. The economic cycle board has two parts: the income track, which indicates your profit or loss from your assets during the game, and the price zone, which represents the prices for buying and selling your stocks and property. In the deck of cards, we have what we call the market, and in the market, you'll have the asset cards, incident cards, global cards, and the professional cards. These cards are playable and is to be drawn to your hand during the game as your opportunity cards. Each of these cards have their own individual effect, so remember to read the descriptions carefully before playing them. One thing I would like to highlight is that for cards with the Oops Banana symbol on it, you can play the card at any time of the game, even when it's not your turn. On top of that, you would have the bank card, insurance, and trust fund. If you don't know what a certain symbol on the card means, just flip your bank card around and there will be a guide for you to refer. To set up the game, place the economic cycle board in the middle of the table and separate the trust fund, insurance, and the bank cards from the market. Each player will receive a bank card, collect 3 cards from the market, and place them face down under the bank card. These will be your in-game currency called Wonga. Draw 4 more cards from the market and place them in your hands. These are your opportunity cards. Before the game starts, all players are allowed to discard up to 4 opportunity cards that they do not want and replace them with new ones from the market. Let's say that I don't like these 2. So I'll just put them into the discard pile and draw another 2 new cards. This can only be done once before the game begins. Before the game starts, everyone needs to decide who will be the first player and the last. The first player of the game is chairperson, and his or her job is to roll the productivity die and move the economic token clockwise every round. And the last player gets to decide where to place the economic token. Once it's all set, the game officially starts. Every round, each player earns 2 Wonga as their salary from the market. On top of that, you would also earn or lose your Wonga based on the assets you have bought. The grid on the income track of the board, which the economic token is on, will indicate how much you would earn or lose from each assets you own. For example, if you own a stock, a property, and a bond, when the income is +2, you'll earn a total of 7 Wonga for that round. 2 Wonga from stock, 2 Wonga from property, 1 Wonga from bond, and 2 Wonga as your salary. However, when the economy is at -3, you will lose a total of 3 Wonga instead. You will receive 2 Wonga as salary and 1 Wonga from bond, but end up losing 3 Wonga from stock and 3 Wonga from property. After collecting your salary and returns from your assets, every player gets to perform up to 3 actions each turn, and they are all stated on your bank card. Every round, there are 6 different actions you can choose to perform. If you like to perform draw, just take a card from the bank without looking at them and put it into your hand. If you have an unwanted card on your hand, you may use trade to discard that and draw a new opportunity card from the market to replace it. You may also play an opportunity card or choose to sell an asset during your turn. Don't worry, you're not restricted to just only one. You can buy or sell 2 assets in the same round if you like. Note that it is important for you to understand the economic cycle to determine when is the best time to buy an asset and when is the best time to sell an asset. Finally, let's say you've bought 2 assets with your first 2 actions and now you're left with 1 more action. You can either buy an insurance to protect yourself or buy a trust fund to bring you closer to win the game. But since you're now vulnerable due to the little Wongas you have left in your bank after purchasing the assets, it'll be wiser for you to use your last action to buy the insurance. Cards with these insurable umbrella symbol in the game are meant to cause unexpected damage to your wealth and slows you down from winning the game. There will be a price to play these incident cards, and it is stated on this corner of the card. So for this instance, it will cost the player 1 Wonga to play this card on anyone. So this is why it's important to have an insurance to protect you and your assets by canceling its effect when you're being targeted. But if you weren't being targeted by any incident card, an insurance will only last you 2 rounds, and it will be discarded by the end of your second turn. Remember that you will need to turn the card clockwise after its first round as an indication to the others. Once you're done with all 3 actions, it's time for the next player to receive their salaries and take their actions. It's not compulsory to perform 3 actions, so you can decide not to take any action during your turn if you like. During the game, if a player doesn't have enough Wonga in the bank to pay any outstanding payment, the player will be forced to sell his or her assets immediately. The selling price will be determined based on the grid where the economic token is placed on. Let's say if you have any outstanding debt and you don't have enough Wonga to pay it back, despite selling off all your assets, you will have to declare bankrupt. But don't worry, you're not going to die or be eliminated from the game. You just have to discard all your cards, including the ones on your hand, but except for Trust Fund, and start your next round as normal by collecting 2 Wonga as salary and draw 2 opportunity cards from the market. After many cycles and sabotaging one another, there are 2 ways to become the winner, and the playing mode has to be decided right at the start of the game. If you want to keep things simple, the first player to accumulate 3 trust funds wins the game. If not, you can play the victory points mode, whereby the player with the highest points will win the game. When any player accumulates 3 trust funds, the game ends after the current round is completed. This means that the round only ends after the last player finishes his or her turn. At the end, everyone will tabulate their scores based on this scorecard, and whoever has the highest points wins. If there's a tie, roll the productivity die, and whoever has the most points wins. Whatever opportunity cards you have on your hand are not worth any victory points. If after a period of time this basic board is getting too easy for you and your friends, try playing the advanced board. The gameplay is generally still the same, but just note that the income track for stocks and property are now different, and the same goes for the buying and selling price of those assets. Instead of receiving the same benefits together, now you would need to have separate strategies for both the assets in order to maximize your gains. And that's pretty much how to play Wongamania Banana Economy. If you have any questions about the game, feel free to put that down in the comment box below, and we'll answer them as soon as we can. Thanks for watching.